think people miss the countdown number. What do you think?
I guess that's what somebody said
Right?
yesterday.
I don't know. Damien,
Howdy.
thanks for coming out, dude.
Dude, no problem. It was not out of my way at all.
Really?
Yeah.
I know you said
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hey, have you been to the egg farm here?
I haven't.
Well,
No.
there's an egg farm.
Yeah, there's two actually.
Well, maybe I know of it, but maybe I've never been to it. Where is it at?
Billy's Egg Farm right here on East End.
Maybe not. No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Check
No.
them out.
Do you guys
dude.
go over there often? or-
They're
We
delicious.
do. We get our
Yeah?
eggs from there.
Do you really?
Yeah.
How much can you get? Like just a carton?
No,
A-
you
a
can get as
pallet?
many as you want. People
Really?
get like 10 dozens. And it's a drive-through too. You don't even have to get off your
Was it
car.
drive-through?
Yeah.
Damn, that's modern. Modern shit. That's cool.
But we're not here to talk about eggs.
Venmo's
Oh,
out.
we could talk about eggs.
We gotta work on an affiliate package for Billy's Egg Farm and the
Dude.
Mind Buzz.
Fucking A. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Can you
Give
imagine
our
the
guests-
labels under that? Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a T-shirt. I mean, I could tell him like we have a T-shirt. We could try eggs
Mm-hmm.
on the podcast.
That'd be cool. You should have them on. Whoever's running it.
Yeah, we thought about that too. I gotta shoot over an email because
Okay.
how many like farms are in this day and age? You know, like
Egg
family owned and operated egg farms
Right.
aside from the huge corporations
Right,
that are
right.
not farms at
Well,
all.
You would find a lot probably in Chino, which is
Yeah.
the best spot for it. So I think if anything, I mean, just local people to talk to, and I'm sure local people would understand it. They're probably not a lot though.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen 2 farms in my life, and
Well, there's a
It's here in
strawberry
Chino.
farm right behind the Jiffy Lube, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like seasonal.
They used to have
yeah,
one right
okay.
there on Euclid in Ontario,
Hmm.
a strawberry farm, but it's not there anymore. They're
Okay.
like condos now.
Nice.
Our
Oh, even
neighbor
better.
Our neighbor has a lemon tree. Those are free.
Oh, come on. Who doesn't have a lemon tree in Chino? We don't. I don't think when
We
I was
don't
younger.
either.
When I was younger, my uncle. I'm not gonna say his name. My uncle would definitely snag those lemons off those trees, which we didn't have them. So we only had apricots and plums. So lemons is what we.
Oh,
had
that's
from neighbors and
something.
stuff.
Yeah, that's something that people normally don't have. Apricots.
Yeah. We don't have it anymore because nobody wants them.
You picked them all.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pick them all, chop down the tree. Fucking A. Yeah, rid of that shit.
Bro, you have a very, very interesting skill set.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
And it's not even just it. The art in general is awesome, but I think you just have this motif, dude,
Mm-hmm.
that is very particular, and I like it.
Well, tell me about it because I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
Maybe we can pull it up. Damien, how would you describe your art?
Oh, wow. It depends where you look at. So I think some of the artwork I do.
Talking to the mic.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Sorry. I did exactly what we talked about earlier. It's always black and white with some red tints in it. It's very dark. It could be very, people say it's usually for shock culture. I don't agree with that. I think it's just things I have or enjoy making.
Shock culture?
Sure. Like, a shock value, do things to make people upset or uncomfortable intentionally. I don't do that. I don't think I do. I don't really have a way to describe my work without Yeah, I really don't have no idea. Yeah, see, that's the latest piece I just
I like
did.
that.
It's called Insecure Boy. It's going to be at this Pancakes and Booze convention at Catch One in Los Angeles, the 29th of this month. But yeah, I don't know how to describe it. It's just a lot, trauma, sure. Visually stimulating. I don't know how else to go about that.
But it's so like detailed too.
Yeah.
What mediums do you use? What do you?
So that one specifically, along with other large pieces, is always Micron Pen on Newsprint.
Wow.
So I've always heard from teachers that Newsprint is not going to hold well.
What is that?
It's just really thin paper.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's garbage. And the ink holds well, and you gotta. Yeah, for the moment it holds well, and you have to have like some sort of white paper underneath it so it can really stand out. But that's usually what I use. Everything is Micron Pen usually.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's caricatures I do. So for like the band Othiel, and that's my buddy Shane. He did some murals downtown Pomona, and then there's the one with the pink one right there.
Uh-huh.
That's the band Lava Love. They're going on tour right now up north, and they use that image for their tour poster. And they're a fantastic
awesome.
band. Fantastic band.
We gotta check them out.
Absolutely.
You did that one for the ECMO podcast, right?
Yeah, I did that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was for fun. I made Joel look like what's his name? Fucking who made Space Oddity or Space Odyssey?
Stanley Kubrick.
Kubrick? Maybe that's not who I'm thinking about. I don't know. Never mind. Coppola, something like that.
Oh, okay.
I just want to give him big eyebrows, big beard.
That looks awesome, dude.
Thank you.
How long have you been doing this style for?
Oh man, such a long time.
Yeah.
After I graduated high school, I didn't want to. Well, I mean, I was just trying to figure out my basis of what I was trying to do. So it was painting, it was Micron Pen, it was sketches, it was comic books, it was caricatures, political. I think maybe since 2017, I've been doing things like that.
Look at that Pabst Blue Ribbon one, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I did that design, that specific design.
Did you submit this?
So I tried.
Uh-huh.
Every year I've been following Pabst because they've had this beer can contest, right?
Right.
You get like $10,000 or some shit like that. Well, one year I prepped for it. I did it a year early, and then that's the year they didn't do it.
Oh.
So I didn't get shit. In fact, they didn't even repost it. They reposted the one I didn't like, which is like the fish one next to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. They knew why they didn't post the other one because it's too good.
I was gonna say that. I was like, it's too good. So you submitted the middle one.
Well, I couldn't
to
even
them.
submit it. Like I just posted it and tagged them because they didn't have the competition.
Oh, okay. What
Which I
about the
was-
following year? Did you try to submit?
That would be this year.
Oh,
And they haven't done it again.
oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder why. Too
I don't
many
know, I'm livid about it.
submissions, maybe.
I doubt that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they still want to give out more money. I mean, they had this weird. They invested in like this hotel, like they made Pabst design, and like they made a song with some other artist, which I thought was garbage. But that's what they did instead of the beer can contest. So
Yeah. How many businesses are doing something like this for independent artists?
what do you
Right.
mean? Oh, you mean like
Like submissions
Open
for
calls?
open calls.
Isn't
Liquid Death does
Liquid
something
Death, I was gonna
like
say,
that, right?
on the box. Hey, you
Do
should
they?
try for that.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Look it up
Watch,
right
I'm
now.
gonna show you.
Yeah.
Because I think Deso did one
Mm.
2 or 3 years ago.
And it made it on their.
Yeah, on their box.
Really, I'd love to see that.
We're all getting you. Let's enroll you in all
Please.
competitions.
Yeah, I try to look for them all the time. I don't know where to find them.
Let's see.
Liquid Death. Anytime I go to a bar and they offer me
Boxer?
Liquid Death, I say no
Why?
because I don't want to pay for water.
That's true.
Are you? Let me ask you this. This is a
Sure.
hot take.
Is it
Is there different tastes in water? Do you think?
different?
Or
Okay,
is,
so
or is it
I
all
think
just water?
If we're talking about the spectrum of water in general,
Mhm.
I think Dasani is low tier. I can taste the chemical and the salt in that shit. Arrowhead has a weird flavor. I have Arrowhead right here. I don't like it. I'm just drinking it because it's water. I think my favorite brand by far, and this I might get some shit for this, is Stater Brothers brand water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
That's
like a
just
Tater
fair.
brand.
it just has like it just tastes like water to me.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Liquid
See?
Death. What do we got?
See, these are
Oh.
the artists that have submitted. I don't know when they do it.
I was about to say, is it like a contest or like they just submit it and like, oh, we'll just use this?
Oh, I guess that's what we need to see.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up myself.
Yeah, but see all of these. So this is the bottom of the box.
Mm-hmm.
They're all done by different artists.
Wow, I've never seen these designs though. Oh, so it's in the bottom of the box.
The bottom of the box.
So this
Yeah.
is the part that nobody sees.
These are limited cases, though.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
So
They
it's
don't-
not like they're made in mass production as they're
Right. They're all limited.
But the other day that we went to the supermarket, I grabbed a box and it had the design at the bottom.
Mm.
So I don't know how far or how long they've done it.
Because nobody comes to Chino to purchase Liquid Death cases. I think we're the only ones at Stater
We're paying
Brothers.
for water.
Yeah. Are paying for water, right?
Yeah.
But it's delicious water.
Sure. I mean, I guess. I don't think so. It's okay. I
Or
mean,
maybe it's just like a marketing tactic because their art is so cool. We're just
that-
like, oh, we're
yes.
we're gonna buy this because it looks cool.
Yeah.
It sounds cool. Water's in a can.
Right. What's in a can? It's got a cool design. It's got a gold rim. Bert Kreischer talks about it. Why not get it? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking A.
It's like the placebo effect. Water.
It might be because when I was sober, I would drink that often. So like at a bar, it's like, oh, we don't have alcohol. We don't have Stella Rose. What the fuck is Stella Zero? So we have Liquid Death, and I would take that instead. And it's like, oh, I got something bubbly that I can hold around other drinkers. I think that's the only good use for that is.
It does feel like that because I don't drink either, and
Mhm.
the times we've gone to shows and things, I kind of want to hold something in my hand.
Yeah.
And the Liquid Death is like
It's a
feeds that. It's a
can.
can.
It's a tall can. Yeah.
I don't
tall
feel that
can.
lame, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
Exactly. You feel like you're in the group.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get cheers everybody.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you want. The sparkling water is good too.
Mm. You
with
guys,
that.
okay, so you don't drink. Do you drink?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know bars around Chino? The only thing I know about was it Limericks?
Limericks is cool. I'm gonna give my hideout.
No, you don't have to say you're close by.
Just kidding.
You already
Oh.
did.
I have. Damn it. Bleachers.
Bleachers. Where's
Right.
that at?
Right there on Riverside Drive.
Okay.
Bleachers, sports bar.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Delicious pizza, dude. Like
Mhm.
for a dive bar,
Mm-hmm.
Really
their
good.
food
Really?
is really good.
Yeah, it's
for
phenomenal, huh?
for a place like that, for a dive bar.
Yeah.
Their selection on beers is pretty on point. They always have good selections of
Okay.
craft beer there.
Yeah.
And I like that too because it's a dive bar, but it's pretty hip for
Does it get
a
packed?
dive bar.
Does it get packed?
On Dodger game nights, it
Oh,
does.
okay. I wouldn't
Yeah.
keep up with that, so I wouldn't know.
They play the Dodger games, all the late. It's a sports bar,
Right. Yeah.
but the pizza is delicious.
Okay, I'll have to try that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really good.
Somebody invited me to go there once. I didn't like the guy who invited me, so I didn't want to go. And so I've always had a bad taste in my mouth because Bleachers didn't sound familiar when you said it. Now I know exactly what you're talking about. But I'll go because you said it.
yeah, it's really good.
Okay.
Like if you're not gonna go to drink, just have Coke or what do they have? They have Pepsi there? No, they have Coke.
Oh, Pepsi. Seems, cool.
That's a no for you.
For Pepsi?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pepsi's garbage. I have a lot of like I hate things. Garbage. My garbage scale is like Pepsi, Liquid Death, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Everything we've offered him, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm a very picky dude. I get food allergies.
Oh, do you really?
Oh,
Yeah,
me
so I'm
too.
already hate things from the get go. I hate peanuts. I can't have them. Can't drink milk. Can't eat ice cream. Yeah.
Okay.
See, that's why I hate so many things. Now I get it.
Yeah.
I have food allergies too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, do you?
I do.
What are you allergic to?
Apples,
Are you really?
squash,
What?
latex,
Wow. Super specific. It's
raw
sporadic.
carrots.
Raw carrot? Okay, I understand that. It's like a weird tingling in your throat?
Yep.
Yeah. I have that sometimes with avocado.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like all the healthy shit. It's
Yeah,
weird.
it's because I would assume it's because of the pesticides
That's what I'm thinking.
and the
too.
vaccines.
Is
I'm
that
like,
what it is?
Why can't I be allergic to like cheeseburgers or chips or something?
Yeah, I guess you're right. We should work on that.
We should.
Potato,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't
Something
know.
I can get away from, you know?
Yeah.
Not fucking apples.
Right.
Come
Sweet
on.
tarts. Sure.
But on the same point, they put apples in everything.
Do they?
Yeah,
Besides apple cider and apple cider vinegar
Yeah.
and apple
Well,
pie.
to Sweden.
it's a
Oh, really?
sweetening agent.
Okay.
Like for a lot of vegan products,
I
like
didn't
they
know that.
put apples in a lot of things.
Really?
A lot of products. Yeah,
Okay, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like instead of using like refined sugars or things like that,
Mhm.
they do like applesauce.
Really?
Yeah. So now I have to fucking read everything.
Yeah,
all
no
the
shit.
time.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know.
Yeah, at the very bottom, the bold print says may contain, or been in a factory that processes nuts and apples, I guess now. Yeah, that's
So
That's
Google this. It's usually they call it the top 5 for allergens. It's like peanuts. It's just look it up. I
all
I
the
know.
dairy,
Yeah,
shellfish.
Oh, I'm very lactose.
Yeah, me too.
top 5 allergens. They have to list these top 5.
Mhm.
There's other ones that they don't. There we go.
Yeah, there you
Milk,
go.
peanuts, shellfish, wheat, and soy.
Yeah, wheat and soy are very high intolerances.
Do you know? This is me doing my research.
Mhm.
Were you? We're all getting into diving deep into your life. Were you exposed to a lot of soy growing up?
I can't say that I have.
No?
I mean, I think I started drinking soy milk as a kid, like when I was like 11. Does that count as growing up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're saying that because like for me, I was lactose since birth.
Mm-hmm.
So then the alternative that they told my mom was soy.
Soy.
Right? So now we know that soy is like really bad for you.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, in large like increments. Yeah, and you're talking about everything I drank as a baby, formula and all that was soy.
Mm.
So they're linking like a high influx of soy to food allergies.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. But what exactly makes that your allergen then after that?
So it's like some kind of enzyme that our body like the influx of soy kind of like deteriorated like some like enzyme in your body that's not letting you like break down certain enzymes in foods. Yeah. So it's like not catching it, and then it's like danger.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not breaking it down. It's just kind of putting it through your body.
Right. I guess that's exactly what an allergy is. So fucking it just does it to itself.
I am super fucking confused. How does soy do that though? Is it just the enzyme in soy?
Maybe it's just the thing itself. Soy is just bad. Maybe it's just bad.
Where does it come from? It's from a bean, right?
Soybean? Yeah. I would assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it like fucks with like your levels, like especially like for women, like estrogen, and then even like for men, testosterone and all that. It fucks with you.
I remember the early 2000s. They were saying like they're connecting like soy products with homosexuality.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it a high correlation?
It was a high correlation.
Really?
Yeah. I remember I think I was in like a business class in college, and like my typing professor, like she made a comment because she knew I was vegan back then, and she just made this weird. I can't remember what it is, but I remember she made like a I don't know if she was like against homosexuality or something, but she made a comment about me and the way I walk with eating soy.
Like the way he's walking, he's gonna go to hell later.
Something like that, dude. It was just I was so flabbergasted of why she would say something like that to me.
Yeah. Well, you said early 2000s. Is it what you said?
It was like the late 2010s, maybe.
Okay.
Like 2012, something like that.
Okay. Being against homosexuality was pretty popular back then.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was, huh? Well, yeah, because 2008 was the initial voting thing for same-sex marriage that happened in 2008.
Obama administration.
Yeah, you remember that when it was like no 2008 no hate.
I don't remember that.
Those signs.
Way too young, but I mean that sounds familiar.
Right? Can we look it up? Should we?
I don't know.
Should we go down that rabbit hole?
Soy and homosexuality.
No, look.
Soy sounds like a gay word.
I'm telling you.
Sounds like I am gay.
2008. No hate.
Oh, yeah,
campaign. Yeah.
Wow.
It was an actual campaign back then.
Wow. No hate with an H.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, with an 8. Number 8.
That's right. I do remember that.
Yeah. You see, I'm not crazy.
Those look funny.
I do remember that.
2008. Is that Ricky Martin? Who is that?
Ooh.
On that side, right there, the middle.
Oh yeah,
Who's
I think it is.
Was homosexuality only about like white people?
It was only in white people.
Wow, no shit.
People of color weren't gay.
I guess not.
Oh, there's
Gay
one.
is the new black. You got fucking Ludacris with his duct tape on his mouth.
Oh, it is
There you
ludicrous.
go.
Though.
That's ludicrous?
No, it's not.
No, it's not. I was like, yeah, it is.
But yeah, she made this weird comment about me and the soy products that I ate and just the way I walked. I can't remember. It's gonna come. It's gonna come to me.
How did you walk?
I don't know. Like then that was the question. I was like, is it the way I walk? What are you talking about, dude? I mean, come on.
That's interesting.
Jeez.
Yeah, she was. I don't know. I don't know if she liked me or didn't like me, but it was just a weird dynamic
We'll
I
never
had
be able to know.
with my keyboard teacher, with the keyboard teacher too.
Yeah, that's odd. They're
Yeah.
outdated.
Yeah. I think one time because I walked into her class and I reeked of marijuana.
Mm-hmm. So she thought you were gay.
She made the correlation of the way I walked, marijuana use, and
soy,
being vegan. I
Yeah.
think maybe it was just the being vegan thing
Right.
that she that she thought. But she was like, oh, like I walked into class. I'm like super freaking, I'm stoned out of my mind. I sit down. She walks past me because she's helping another student. And she asked, she was like, Gilbert, you did something a little bit extra today, didn't you? And I just looked at her. I was just like, sure,
Wow.
I guess.
Yeah. A typical high response. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know. Are we turning in stuff right now or are you interrogating me?
Oh, no.
Like, what's the deal right here, Miss G? That was her name, Miss G.
Oh, I see. Got it.
Yeah, so I don't know. She was just teachers were wild back then. I'm pretty sure like she wouldn't be able to handle
Today?
students now.
Yeah, probably not.
No.
No.
Because everyone would have been gay in her class.
I know.
Maybe.
Or at least thought they were.
Yeah, or vegan.
She
or
would have came out as
something.
gay, probably.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's what it was too. Maybe she was just like super uncomfortable
Mm-hmm.
with
With herself, is that what you're saying?
With herself, yeah.
Maybe.
That she had to single me out, and I wasn't even homosexual.
I know, that's the biggest thing.
That was
It's
the
like-
bad thing. Like
Yeah.
I could agree maybe if I was a
Mhm.
tad bit,
Mhm. A tad
know?
bit. Just a little bit.
On the weekend.
just a
Yeah.
little bit, but no, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, teachers were and are wild. They don't get better. Through time, they increase with intensity of wild shit as the time does.
What about art teachers? Like, do you have like an education in art? Did you take classes?
So
What's your dynamic with that?
I went to Citrus College from 2016 to like 2021. I dropped that a lot. I have an AA in visual arts, and I have a transfer, and I think another AA in studio arts. So I'm at Colesta Fullerton. I'm trying to be an art history teacher, and I have a long ways to go. I had a lot of cool art teachers. I had a crush on my first one in college. We keep in close contact, sort of. Unfortunately, she's married.
Oh.
But that was me, nothing. All my art teachers have been very, very cool. Yeah, and they weren't wild at all. Like, you know, they're very open people. They're artists, so like they're very like flamboyant and open and expressive and like what's the word? Critical thinkers. So
So art history, that's pretty
yeah. So
interesting.
my main focus would be that if I was an art teacher and I had to choose an era of which I got to teach, it would be probably German Expressionism. So the Neue Zeitlichkeit movement, Käthe Kollwitz and Max Ernst, Otto Dix, people like that. It's just a very cool era of just German art, and it also goes into film, like the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Very cool stuff, and it's like everything that German Expressionism does or has done. I'm sorry, has influenced the whole world of artists today in terms of like the emo, goth, I guess independent artists like Tim Burton's art. All based off of
Really?
German Expressionism. Oh yeah, like the way that the buildings are made, the shadows that are casted, the black and gray coloring, it's all German Expressionism.
That's interesting. How'd you come across that? Is it just a observation?
So I have an interest in German culture, and the more research you do, you connect things, and you do find out that, you know, Tim Burton had a strong influence on that shit. And even if you didn't read about that, you could definitely see it. If you look at the sets that were made for the film, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, it's exactly the same thing he would do when it's like a Frankenweenie.
Can you look that up? I've never, and that's a film that he.
Yeah,
he's done?
you'll notice some of the
What is it called?
The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
Oh, there we go, the first one. And this is a film he did, or
Well, no, it's just the influences are evident.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you go on images and it also Metropolis. So like look at the way he. You can
Okay,
see,
yeah, I
obviously
see
he
that.
copied those things.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
even some of his actors, they have these like
These
know,
sunken,
like,
yeah,
sunken eyes.
Frank. Oh yeah, Frank and Weenie. What other ones?
His wife's or the one that was married to him.
The Corpse
Helen.
Bride.
Corpse Bride, sure. Jack Skeleton,
Yeah.
all those folks.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's also Metropolis, which is a huge German film back in the day. Also the same sort of like imagery and setup. Yeah, I mean, my main focus would be on that. If I was an art history teacher, would be teaching that aspect of art.
Okay. And like, how old students would be? How old
Well,
would they?
I plan on being a university professor.
Oh, okay. So
I
they're
don't think I could be an art history teacher in high school. I didn't have an art history teacher. In
yeah,
high school.
because that's pretty specific on an era.
right, exactly. So it'd have to be college.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
University, whatever.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thank you.
So when let's back up a little, right?
Sure.
Timeline. So when did you discover that you could draw? Or when did you discover that you were, into art and all of that?
Yeah, I think, God, really young. I couldn't even put an age on it. I knew I always liked drawing or creating. My family has been super supportive, like universally, the whole way through. Like I remember I used to make this tree because when we had McDonald's, I couldn't eat the bun, so I'd only get the patty, and I'd always like bite the edges off and make it look like a tree. It's like, hey, Grandma, look at this, and she'd be like, oh my God, you're so talented. And I think that support, that menial support, is what made me become the artist that I am today. Made me think, oh, I am creative, and then just kind of stuck with that. So I think since the beginning of memory, really. Yeah, I don't think I actually got good as an artist until maybe after high school. I've done some really cool things while I was in high school and before that, but I think my skill has really honed itself after I graduated.
What do you think that?
Just looking back,
Yeah.
looking at the old works I used to do, I know that the school I went to, the School of Arts and Enterprise in Pomona, I had to audition. And so what that means is you go to the administration, you show them your work, and they have to accept you. Well, I thought it was a big deal. I threw them my comic books that I made when I was really young. And looking back at those things, they're fucking terrible. They're gross. Like, they're so bad.
Yeah.
And that's what got me in. I was like, maybe I am a really good artist. But knowing that whole process of being accepted in that school was kind of bullshit. Because artists would get accepted all the time and weren't good at all. And they didn't get better. And I think it reflection to look back and see that my work was not at all good. Or even on a direction of progress. It was just sort of like mapping out what I could do with certain material. You know, it wasn't until I had time to actually work on it that I actually got better.
That's pretty difficult to do, to look at your artwork and determine whether you're good enough.
Mm-hmm. Well, not good enough. I don't think I've ever admitted that. I don't think I ever will. But like, because you're a podcaster, your first episode, do you think it was as good as the one you had last?
Absolutely not.
No. Okay. Well, it's like looking back, it's always easy to critique yourself, especially in the moment. But looking back at something and be like, okay, obviously I've improved a hell of a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you don't think you have initially or like intentionally, like it's just there. You know, the progress is evident.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just like looking at it at a different lens,
Right. The better lens.
the better lens.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've always done art that made me feel you know, always drawing things I want to draw. It doesn't have to be like a specific person or a portrait or alignment. It's just a collage of whatever I want. It's always been a collage. And I think people always have been grabbed by that to look at it further and see why they like it, you know. And I think attention definitely helps with art because like the more attention you get, you're like, oh, I guess I am pretty fucking good, you know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I see. So, what's this school called? It's in Pomona?
Yeah, School of Arts and Enterprise. It's called the Say. It's off of Monterey and Gary. It's just by the train station.
Oh, okay. I think I remember.
Yeah, it's in downtown Pomona by the Arts College.
It's like right as you get to downtown Pomona, across from there's a Jack in the Box right there. Right?
Yeah, that's just further up.
Further up.
Yeah, but that's right there though.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How are you pretty into the Pomona art scene?
I would say
moment?
I am.
Yeah.
I guess not as much as I used to be. I mean, I was doing events with Gio from the Alley Gallery. I was in the Artists in the Alley with Nate. I know Marco. He's he's working with the Downtown Pomona Owners Association. I know Josh helped me out with my first gallery at the Loft. I know a lot of people in Pomona and are artists alike. I try to participate in as many downtown walks as I can. I know the venue people, the Haven, the Glass House, the bars, of course. I would say I'm pretty heavily in the Pomona art scene.
Has it changed like in the past, in recent times? Like has more art
No, Pomona has its peaks and valleys.
Doesn't?
It gets a lot of hype and then it goes down. It's just the people around, like they just lose the interest, or it's like the community just isn't fully there. They're there for a short time, not a long time. Only some artists that I know who stay in Pomona are much older and still doing art. It's like they're almost forgotten about in a way because, some people are like, oh yeah, I remember his art, but that's as far as it goes. There's no money to be had there. The galleries there are very cool, but like there's not a lot of people going to them. There's one really big gallery called the Daw. Okay, that's right by the DBA. It's ran by this woman named Margaret, and it always has a huge space for a lot of great artists, but the reach is just isn't there. And I actually have quite a problem with that place anyway, because they won't have my work there. And I don't know how many times I've tried. Since high school, I've tried. It frustrates me. And I would hope to help in some way get people to come over there, but I feel like Pomona sometimes is sort of a dead zone for the arts in general.
Do you think it's because of why is that? Why is it? I'm pretty sure there's other artists that happens to, right?
Absolutely.
Because I know Mario was telling me about, he was experiencing that too. I mean, some of his stuff is more like, some of it, he was telling me like some pieces he has are like more, there's some nudity, there's some suggestion of sex or drugs.
Sure.
Maybe psychedelic feel or with cannabis, and like some of his pieces will work better like at like a cannabis store or right now. I know the last time him and I talked, like he was doing a lot of burlesque shows. So I think it's just like finding where your art fits in, right?
Yeah, it's a tough spot because galleries are gonna have rules. Sometimes
Right.
sometimes you can't put certain things in there, and I think that's fine. I think rules help an artist grow, because they're being limited, so they have to work with what they have. But I think that when every gallery in the place has those rules, no artist can do anything. I mean, they can, but like it's really limited, and there's no growth like at all. Now the artists. The galleries I mentioned before, the artists in the alley and the alley gallery, they don't have any rules as long as you bring enough pieces and you're on time and stuff like that. But they don't get a lot of viewage. An alley gallery is very popular. And it's not right in the center, but it takes up a lot of attention. And they have this thing called the 31 flavors where people get like on panels that cover the whole city, or I mean that whole block, and it's just paintings from every artist. It's very cool. It takes up it makes it like a rainbow of sorts on 2nd Street, and still. It could be a dead zone. It's hard for an artist to survive in downtown Pomona. They really do have to start off there and go somewhere else. Like, I think every time I have a solo show in Pomona, I always think, I got to go to LA. This isn't helping. I know the people here love the stuff I have, and they get tired of coming back to the same shit if there isn't anything new.
Yeah.
But, like, beating a dead horse. You got to get out of it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good starting point, and then from there
It's a great artist community.
Yeah,
a lot of people love the stuff. It doesn't get anywhere though.
But what do you think needs to change in order for that to kind of?
That's hard to say. I wouldn't know. I would.
Or what would you want to see change?
Well, I would like to see a lot of people have interest in the community, in the arts colony, and it's not to say that there isn't at all. But like, it's just, I feel like the people who go to see these events, like downtown, the art walks, Second Saturday, a lot of people come down for those things. But that's where it stops. I mean, those galleries are still open for those times, and they don't have a lot of good work all the time, or work in general, in the galleries. And I really have no idea. I have no idea. You have to talk to somebody else who's more involved with that. Maybe like one of the gallery owners, perhaps.
Yeah.
All I know is, and that's only my own opinion, maybe other people think I'm wrong about that, I feel like I can't get anywhere in Pomona. I love the place. I love the scene. There's nothing else I could do there.
Recently, Riverside has been getting a lot of I guess, traction with the artists, and there's a gallery space out there called the Eastside Art House that's been housing.
Never heard of it. How'd you hear about it?
A friend of ours, Save the Pandas. He's an artist. He's a muralist. What else does Rick do?
Everything.
He does it all.
Yeah.
Painting, everything. And he's been doing it for a very long time. I think it's Juan Navarro is the gallery owner. He's also a muralist. So a lot of muralists in that community.
Right.
Do you think, because I know you mentioned earlier, like some galleries won't accept your artwork or things like that. And then earlier in the show, you had said that, sometimes people say that some of your work is, what did you say? Not thought provoking, but like
shock value.
Like shock value,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Do you think that that's kind of why these spaces, like they're not ready for you? Or are they trying to do like more family friendly things, or what is it that maybe?
So I know an answer for sure for one of the galleries that I mentioned, which is the DAW, has a problem with the work because of the explicit content. They say that it's a what did they say? City funded? Not sure. So like want to keep things very, PG, whatever. And as much as I want to buy that, which I always try to understand what they're saying when they say that. But I know it's bogus because there's explicitness in all types of art. Not, of course, I'm not going to say every piece, like a painting of a flower is not explicitly offensive.
I mean, it could if it had 3 tits on it.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure they would accept that because that'd be sexually open. You'd be accepting of what they think. I know they have depictions of the police or brutality and things like that. Those are very, very hard things to look at, especially given the times we're in. And they'd be more than willing to take those things in. Like I have an example. So Huntington Beach has this gallery. It's a big one. I submitted it. My piece called Thin Perceptions. It's a very long piece. It's about 51 by 17 inches long and high. And it has a lot of swastikas in it. And I had to talk to the person who owned it, who requested a phone call, and said that, listen, my audience here at Huntington Beach is not sophisticated enough to understand your work. And we don't like politically charged things. And she said it's very right-wing around where the gallery is. And she was saying that they don't like political works, explicitly political works, but they take them all the time, usually left-leaning. And I don't have a problem with that, but like, you don't got to lie.
Right.
It's just, I know. I think it's like, it's fine. You think your audience is not sophisticated enough to understand this. That's fine. I don't think an artist, a viewer of art is entitled to feel comfortable when they're looking at art. So when they tell me things like that, like they can't understand it, or we don't take politically charged work because they might take it the wrong way or it might be offensive. I think that's fine. I think you should let that happen. Art's supposed to make you feel in every which way.
Yeah, they're already censoring what they think and their perception of what someone else is gonna feel or think, and it's kind of like also dumbing them down and saying like, hey, they're not gonna understand it. It needs to be the person viewing and their own kind of perception of what they feel about it.
Yeah, they're policing pretty much thought and feelings of the viewer.
Right, they're pre-offended on behalf of other people.
Right. That's ridiculous.
Which is a shame because it's like there's a lot of things they could see in this piece. I've had the piece I'm talking about, Thin Perceptions. I got kind of popular on TikTok.
Do you have it on your?
It's on my Instagram. Yeah, it's also on TikTok. Dehoyos is also on the thing. A lot of people have different perceptions of it. Some people were like, this is Nazi shit. This is bullshit. This is racist. Other people were like, the swastika's been around for a long time. Like they knew exactly what I was doing with it. And I don't want to give people the benefit of the doubt to confirm or deny it.
Sorry. I didn't know that was gonna be in.
Jeez.
Sorry.
She just pulled up a video of a beheading earlier.
That's what it sounded like.
I'm sorry. I'll look it up more quickly.
It might be on the reel somewhere. I'm not totally sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look at it. Sorry.
Sure. Yeah, it's okay.
Woke you guys up, huh?
Yeah. See, there's me and swastikas already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which I had to fight Instagram for to put back up.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I had a post describing my problem with how people see the swastika. You can see it whatever way you want. It's understandable. World War II, neo-Nazis today, that's fine. The swastika's had a history long before 1930s. It's had Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh, Japanese, Chinese, Native American, Jewish even origins. And I feel like people forget that sometimes. When
There's some origins in Egypt too.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's literally been everywhere. It's a universal symbol. Yeah, that might be too far back. Yeah, if I can't find it, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I'll look for it quietly.
Okay.
Keep it going.
But yeah, and I forgot what point I was making with that. But yeah, swastikas.
Why? Is it just ill-informed people about that symbol?
Well, it's a yes or no. It's yes and no because people don't know about its history. They know it for one thing. It's what they learned in school. It's Hitler, World War II, and the Holocaust, which are really big things, which happened not too long ago. I think people usually have a problem with me using it because of the fact that regardless of its history, people still only know, especially in the West, for the terrible things it's responsible for. And still, neo-Nazis use it, for hate groups and everything like that.
Yeah.
Stupid kids in school will use that symbol just to, be assholes,
Right.
And cause mischief of sorts. And when I use it, people think I'm trying to do the same thing. And it's not to say that I'm far from being a perfect person to represent the swastika. That's not my job. I use it and I know how to use it. The swastika to me is like a smiley face or a heart or a frowny face and a broken heart. It's a universal symbol. And I use it quite well, I think.
Isn't it weird how we have these ideas about certain symbols? Like we place value in something that we see. That I think that's just wild to me. Like we as a society, we decide what that symbol, like what the value is in the symbol.
Right. There's usually like a universal, like a wide consensus.
Right.
What this is, and that's usually what art usually is. Like famous art pieces. I'm sure you know about Picasso and Warhol. Those are universally big art pieces. Whoa.
That's been happening lately. So
Well, the light went down?
Yeah, it happened last night. I think it's just all the.
Is this one it?
That's
power.
Insecure Boy.
Okay.
It looks just like that.
Oh, what did you say it was called?
A Thin Perceptions.
A Thin.
Yeah, I think it might be like 4 down. I'm not sure.
That one's still really cool.
Yeah.
That's the first one we've seen, right?
Yeah, that's the first one.
I remember my first interaction. I'll never forget. I think I told you, Gil, my story on the swastika. So we were learning it at school. Obviously, I think I was maybe 4th grade. And we were learning, right, at school. And it was one of those things where, they were teaching us, Germans and how bad it was and all that. And I don't think that I made a connection between the symbol and its, right, like its worth or what it stood for. So I drew it. I thought like the lineage was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Flows right
So
out
I
of you.
remember drawing it because I seen it and then I was like, oh, I just want to draw it. Again, there was no intention. There was nothing like, and then I erased it. I erased it and then I submitted, I guess it was something that we had to submit to the teacher. And I specifically remember, I'll never forget. So it was like a, like a white lady. She was pregnant. So she calls me in up to her desk and she's like, hey, can I talk to you? And I was like, yeah, sure, And I go up to her desk and she's like, why are you drawing this? And I was like, oh, I'm in 4th grade. I don't know. Like I saw it in the book. You talked about it and I felt like drawing it.
Yeah.
So she gave me this huge lecture, made me cry, just telling me, was I racist? Was I this? Was I that? Do you know how bad it was? Do you know how many people died because of it? La, 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 la. Ranted and kind of like, chewed my ass out.
She scolded
4th
you.
grader. She scolded me.
Yeah.
And after that, I was like, again, I don't condone anything, right? I was in 4th grade. I just wanted to draw it. And I'll never forget that. It's like imprinted in me of how bad it was, right? Because I was told and I was kind of humiliated in front of my class for simply drawing it, right? Because I just wanted shapes and feel how it felt to draw it and all that. And I'll never forget that. And I think I was telling you, Gil, not too long ago about that experience, but yeah, she made me cry. So I never did it ever again.
Well, right. I mean, surely hits you over the head with it. And that's an understandable reaction, especially from a teacher. But of course, like the context involved, it's a small image that someone could just easily draw. It's got a flowing thing to it. It's like a cross that just has more arms to it. However, I understand why she would scold you. I don't know why so intensely though. I mean, you didn't know. You were just a kid.
Yeah.
You weren't like shaving your head and like,
No, I wasn't.
calling everybody out.
But that's what I'm saying about like like symbols just in general, like throughout the world. Like we give the Star of David like a certain like value to it. We give the cross a certain value to it. Like when they're brands, right? When you think about it, everything is just like it's all brands,
Yeah,
dude.
I like
It's
that.
all logos.
Sure. Yeah.
It's logos. This logo is, for these certain people.
Yeah.
And those have a different history behind it.
Yeah.
Can you? I want you to search. Can you look up swastika like in history?
Sure.
Let me
It just blows my mind how we as humans give certain these weird little things that are not reality
Well,
like value.
Yeah, that is a weird way to look at it, and probably the best way to look at it. Like, why do we put so much value on these things that are just little blots that look like something that represent? Well, it's because probably the representation of it.
The representation, right?
Yeah. So if you want to look up something specific, in Finland, the Air Force used a swastika before World War One or during World War One. It was a blue swastika, and it had like wings on it, and that was, of course, halted after World War Two.
In Finland,
There you
there we go.
Yeah, it's a blue or gold swastika. Has some wings on it.
Can you go back? Because I wanted to read what the Zoroastrian.
Threw you off.
Can you go back?
more.
Yeah. The first time you searched it. There we go. In the Zoroastrian religion of Persia, the swastika was a symbol of the revolving sun, infinity, or continuing creation. It is one of the most common symbols on Mesopotamian coins. The icon has been of spiritual significance to Indian religions such as Hinduism, Buddhism, and
Jainism.
Jainism.
I thought it was always Jainism. One of my teachers told me it was Jain. Well, someone told me it was Jain, but maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about. I've always said Jain. I'm still gonna say Jain. I feel like I'm saying Jain, like as I'm gonna.
Jane.
Vagina.
Yep. Vaginism.
But I get it. I really do. I get it's just one of those things that it didn't come from evil, but it was taken by
It was
someone
branded that way.
Right.
This guy was a marketing genius.
Yeah,
like
he
he
was.
took a symbol and he I don't want to say perverted it, but he took this symbol and he did what he did with it.
Right.
You know?
No, yeah. I would say that he wasn't the only one to do that. Like every flag in every nation has some sort of symbol
100%.
that's used for some sort of good or bad. I would say that he did pervert it in the aftermath and in
Of
hindsight.
what it stood for before 1932?
Exactly. I mean, because there was a Thule Society that happened in 1920s, which was a secret society of Germans who were anti-Semitic, who used that symbol. It was rounder though. So like anytime before that, it was always been a good symbol, a symbol of prosperity and hope and love and flow. The Native Americans used it. It was a whirling log. They used it. Oh God, I can't remember. Usually for the same purposes, like good luck and stuff like that. I know that in Japanese, it's called the manji. It's on some Pokemon cards and stuff like that from back in the day. It's used as an emphasis in language and as in specific locations on maps. In Chinese, I think it's called Wan, W-A-N. It means 100,000, but really that's a literal interpretation. It's just a great quantity, omnipresence, I think is the message to be put there. The Hindus use it. It's a red swastika that has points on it. It's got 4 dots. It's all over the place, man. It's in architecture. It's in Greeks. It's in Romans. It's used as the wind. There's ancient synagogues who have the symbol in the walls. It's a lot of stuff. I read this all in a book by T.K. Nagagaki. I think it's called The Buddhist Swastika and Hitler's Crooked Cross. I'm not sure what the title is, but yeah, it's a good book.
Can you look that up? That's very interesting. I love reading, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I like interesting stuff like this.
Just look up T.K. Nagagaki.
And we got to learn. We got to get that Amazon affiliate link together.
Yeah. K-I.
Maybe another G?
Yeah, maybe. Sorry, I'm a drawer. I'm not a speller. You maybe put symbol or whatever.
There we go.
Yeah, and then
Is it this one?
Let's see. This Buddhist swastika and
here.
Hitler's cross. That's right. Rescuing a symbol.
Hey, that's not. It's only $8. Does it have? Do we have it in? Can we hear on Audible?
I'm not sure.
So what does it because I mean we can go back and forth, right? And I can say it's horrible and it did a lot of damage and it did really bad things or whatever, and then we can go back and say, well, it meant nothing, right, before or whatever. But how do you utilize it in your artwork, and why do you utilize it in your artwork?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think when I first started seeing the symbol, it was, of course, the same way you guys all did, World War II. You see it as this big, powerful thing. It's got this big red background. It's all uniform. There's this huge army behind it. There's a huge, terrible travesty that follows it. It's just a powerful symbol. And like the way, you just said you drew it in class after you saw it. I mean, it's just easily done. It's just, there's a flow to it, And I think back in the day, I definitely used it as just, drawing swastikas on a book, because I'm being a little shit. 666 upside down crosses and a swastika. But then after just doing the research, it becomes more of an interesting symbol. And knowing that it has such a plethora of meaning, and knowing that other people aren't taking advantage of how useful this symbol is. I mean, useful in some other sort of context. That's it right there. I think it has to be used more often. I think it should be used more often. I'm not going to make people do it, but see, there's quite a lot on there.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. And see, me being a kid with white skin and a bald head, I know I'm not bald now. I don't look good being the spokesperson for a swastika. But I assure you my intentions are pure when it comes to it.
Do you think when you submitted this that had something to do with it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nearly every person I've submitted this to has rejected for those reasons. And they don't have to say explicitly swastika. They'll say political. They'll say political. They'll say offensive material. Sometimes they'll even pick things out that aren't even like offensive at all in the same piece, and just say, "Oh, this isn't good."
So when you submitted it, do you submit anything written to describe the artwork, or are they just using their subjectiveness, if that's even a word?
Sure, yeah. So sometimes they give you a space to explain your work. Sometimes they don't. And I prefer not to even do that because it's like, it's an art piece. Look at it the way you want to.
Okay, that makes sense.
And if they have questions, I always tell them at the end, like, if you have questions, I'd be more than willing to address them. I say that to every gallery who accepts my work, even the ones who accept it. And even after the explanation, they go, okay, well, probably isn't a good idea right now. And right now is continuous. It's always going to be hectic. There's always going to be some sort of racial divide. So, I mean,
do you think that right now is going to change? Like, do you think that it will be the art space for your particular art pieces? Do you think that will open up? Like, based on your experiences?
Right. I'd have to say no. Almost delightfully say no. Because I feel like the fact that people aren't accepting it, like, I wouldn't want to be in a world where everyone's like, okay, well, he said he wanted us to have it in there. Let's just put it in there. I don't want that petty shit. Like, it's going to be hard. It's an understandable piece to be upset about, or to take in the wrong direction. I'm upset when people reject the work. I hate that people don't get to see it on a bigger scale. People deserve to see it, I think. And I'm not making myself some sort of god who made this piece for people to see.
It's a really nice art piece.
And see, when I look at it, I don't see it as you condoning, right? Or saying like what that is, or at least in my perspective, right. I don't see it as you saying, oh, that person did well. Like, you're not condoning it, right? I'm seeing it as it triggers something in me to where all these files of what we've ever learned on that era or whatever, it's coming back, right? And it provokes these thoughts and these things, and then you put them to play with what's happening now and all of that. So it's very thought provoking.
Yeah.
It's crazy that they would even not, but I mean,
Yeah, but like you said, it's understandable. And yes, it doesn't say in the piece directly that, like, yes, I'm for Nazis or I'm against them. I don't want people to have the satisfaction of knowing what I stand for in general, because I feel like that the illusion's gone. David Bowie has a good quote that all artists should be apolitical, because you don't have such a divide, and it gets people thinking. they don't know what you represent. And I think, to be honest, they shouldn't. That's just part of the illusion, though. It's like just a big lie you want to create with your own work. But yeah, I hope that people are more willing to see it. That's all I hope. I don't think people should be like, yeah, we'll just accept all of it. There has to be some sort of limitation. I might hate saying that in the future, but
Have you gotten anybody that was like pro Nazism?
I know a few. There's not many in California. That's not a shock. I know a few, and they like my work because of it. They're like, they have very fascist ideologies, and fascist in the term of like, because a lot of them are Asian, Hispanic, who like the fascist ideologies of Oswald Mosley and like the Spanish fascists. So like they believe in strong health and being physically fit, sober, conservative, traditional, and they usually like the Nazi shit. So they, like, even if it's not confirmed Nazi stuff, they prefer it because it's like, oh yeah, this looks like the shit they're into. So yes, I know a few of those as well. And I don't think it hurts or helps my cause at all. I mean, as long as they're not flying it on a flag and going to a protest, I'm fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Printing out your artwork and taking it to a rally or something.
Sure. I mean, and even if they did, I mean, it's publicity. People would see it. And just like anybody else who has artwork or a message, it will be taken out of context. Like Nietzsche had a big thing about the Übermensch, and Nazis went with that 100% to think that was a racial purity.
And what was it? What is that?
The Übermensch is, I think, mentioned the first time in Thus Spoke Zarathustra. It's a book of his. It's sort of like, I would take it as a ironic tale of Jesus Christ, but in an alternative version.
Really?
It's not of Jesus, though. It's like sort of mocking that whole thing. I would take it that way. It's a deep book. I have a hard time understanding it.
What did you say it was called?
Thus Spoke Zarathustra, if I'm saying that right.
Oh, that one's a fun one. There we go.
It's about and the belief system that this person is spreading is about the Übermensch, which is someone who's just above the belief and is past the point of God, because to Nietzsche, God is dead at this point. So, yeah.
Whoa. Can you keep this tab open? That is interesting.
It's a deep book, man. I'm so like in the beginning of it still, because it just takes a long time to like break it down.
Check the availability on Audible. I'm an audio nerd, dude.
I could tell.
I'm an audio nerd, dude. It's because
you say it's cheating, but I don't think so.
No, you're still getting the same information.
Exactly.
You're driving. You can, you can't do that.
I can drive, wash dishes when I want to. I said when I want to. Okay. Okay. I mean that sounds. So where did you get into all this stuff, dude? Because there's got to be a point to where you're like, it's a rabbit hole of art. It's a rabbit hole of this and just basic interest. Like, what interested you into all this?
This all branches off from the same thing. I think it's like being an artist, what that means. So being an artist, looking at other artists that have already been. So Haring, Dali, Warhol, Picasso, all those artists, Kollwitz, and then my interest in German culture. So that expands a lot of things. So I was a big David Bowie fan. Bowie has definitely inspired me to do a lot of things differently.
Really?
He's a fantastic and intelligent person. The interviews he has on YouTube, they're unbelievably intriguing. But he had a German period in Germany. He made the 3 albums Low, Heroes, and Lodger. And he had a lot of German culture. He lived in a Turkish area, and he had a lot of German influences. So the album covers are all German paintings or inspired by German paintings. Him and Iggy Pop did the same thing when it came to using inspirations for their album work. So Iggy Pop's The Idiot. He has this stance. It's based off a painting by, Hermann. I'm not sure his name, whatever, but German. And then going into the language of German, the German language, and going to film and music like Rammstein or Rent Lola Rent. I've been learning German since 2016. I'm not at all fluent. I'm hardly conversational. The most conversation I've had was recently with a 10-year-old. And it's as far as it got was like what her favorite color was and how old she was. Yeah. It just, with those things, I guess, and then you bring yourself to Nietzsche because Nietzsche's German. David Bowie loved Nietzsche. So it all kind of comes full circle. My use of the swastika, him being in Germany, Nietzsche, World War II, and the use of the Übermensch, It just kind of happens that way. I don't know.
And when did you start getting into all this stuff? Like in
Probably
high school,
when
middle school?
When I had time. So
Yeah.
after I graduated, I started listening to David Bowie. After I graduated, I had time after work and after school, and that's when I started learning German on my own. And I think from there, it really just spawned this pathway to just learn as much as I could with the things I have interest in.
You know what's interesting? I'll give you a little insight about my musical knowledge. I did not know that he did the original The Man Who Sold the World.
Oh, God.
I'm one of those, bro. I'm one of those.
I thought people who said that were always joking. I cannot believe you just said that.
Yeah.
You thought Nirvana made that song?
Absolutely, 100%.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
The reason how I found that out was I think it was a few years ago they had a documentary on David Bowie. So they were talking about like that album specifically,
Okay.
which is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
That's one album that I just adore. It's like in my top 10
It's a good album.
favorite albums.
Sure.
And I was like, wait, hold on, what? I opened Spotify, went to that song, and I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
And then idiot me, I started doing like going to dates, like when obviously Bowie did it first before Nirvana.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at the dates and I was like, holy shit, this is a cover. And specifically, again, bonehead move.
Sure.
I listened to the Nirvana version. And at the end, what's his name? The frontman from Nirvana.
Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
At the end, what does he say?
I think he says it's a cover.
At the end, he says, that was a David Bowie song.
Okay. God. I can't believe you, man. I have a friend who makes that joke all the time, saying that Nirvana made that song and David Bowie copied it. The fact that I met a person who actually at one time believed that. Well, it's nice to meet you, man. That's fucking crazy. That's so fucking crazy.
It's like you can say you saw a unicorn now.
Yeah. No
Or
shit.
one of those things.
It's just, I don't know what it was. It's just one of those ill-informed things.
You couldn't have known if you never heard that song before and you heard Kurt Cobain do it. I mean, it's like, I guess they wrote it. You know,
right?
Why wouldn't you think that? I guess you're right.
Yeah, I mean that's why there's certain documentaries about certain people, certain artists.
Right.
But I mean, without that, I'm pretty sure I would have figured it out.
Yeah.
But it blew my mind.
Yeah.
But I love David Bowie's version of that. Is just way better.
Oh, I would say it's way better because it's like that's how it was made. You know what I mean? Like, it just sounds like it's like that old school rock, and like that riff, like that's a weird riff, man. For that time,
that whole album, dude, it's amazing.
His whole discography is fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah.
It's all alternative, man. You could tell that the musicians after him, like the Smashing Pumpkins and like Jane's Addiction and anybody else, Trent Reznor, the alternative rock scene all formed from David Bowie. The 80s scene all formed from David Bowie. Maybe not alone. Like I'm sure Queen and George Michael and all them had some sort of influence in that. But like you could just see it. Like David Bowie invented alternative rock, I think, to my knowledge. It's evident in music, man. And on the radio you can't tell. With indie music you can. David Bowie's a fucking god. He's a fucking god.
So what do you listen to? What does Damien listen to on any given
So David
day?
Bowie for sure. I'm a big Ghost and Rammstein fan.
Okay.
I love Dwight Yoakam. I love Linda Ronstadt. I like Toby Keith every now and then. I'm a big Bee Gees fan. My grandma got me into the Bee Gees. I love the Bee Gees. I love Barry Gibb. He had some solo work recently because all his brothers passed away.
Yeah.
So he's making work with his sons, which I think is just the sweetest thing. And then he made a country album covering the songs he made before. Yeah, with Dolly Parton.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What it's called? Greenfields is what it's called. With Dolly Parton and some other Australian country singers, Keith Urban, and then before she died, the one from Greece, Sandy's name,
Olivia
Newton-John. Yeah, she was also on the album. Fantastic. Sheryl Crow. Oh, so good.
Are you listening to music when you're drawing?
I listen to podcasts and radio, so I'm a big Opie and Anthony fan. Jim and Sam. I listen to that nonstop. Sometimes I listen to music, but it gets distracting.
Really?
Yep. I get too much in my feels and I don't want to draw anymore. I want to cry.
Whoa,
I would think the other way
Yeah.
around, hearing people talk.
It's overwhelming. It's like, okay, what album should I listen to? Because then it puts me in a space to draw something specific to the music. When I listen to radio or podcasts, like it's just talking.
So
It's
the
funny.
music influences.
I guess it does. Yeah, I guess I never really thought about it that way. It does kind of get in my head though.
too much of an influence on that?
Maybe too much of an influence, and also like I might get burned out and distracted easily because of the music. I don't know.
I could see it because you like and cherish music, and not only in the aspect of it making you tap your toe, you like, to go in more depth and know of the artist and things like
history.
that from what I hear.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like me, like when I watch a movie, I have my phone and I'm looking up, where did they film it? Who's this? Who's that? And then
Right.
I don't end up
Enjoying
the
movie.
movie because
Yeah.
I want to know everything behind what the movie was, what
Right.
it did, this and that, where did it inspire, all
Mhm.
of that. So I could see exactly what you're saying about the music.
Right. Yeah, and even if I'm not listening to music while I'm making it, if I'm listening to music in that era of time and I look back after years and listen to that same music, I'll think about what I felt when I was making that piece with that music in the background, like in my head. Like it works the same way. I just can't listen to it while I'm doing it. Instrumentals are usually pretty good, but still I prefer to listen to something funny.
Maybe you know this. There's an artist that did portraits
Mhm.
of themselves under different influences, like he was drunk and
Yeah.
then he did a do you know
I know who this is. I don't know. Don't remember his name.
he was drunk and he did one on
all sorts of
cannabis, he did one on cocaine,
meth,
meth,
mescaline, horse tranquilizers, everything.
What?
LSD,
LSD, dates.
mushrooms.
Exactly. Yeah, he was poor, dude. He was a criminal. He's an antisocial dude.
So who? Yeah, can you look that up?
I don't remember.
I
his
can't
name.
remember who it is, but I heard this story and I thought it was super fascinating.
Right. Well, his whole story is fascinating because if he didn't do the things he was doing with art, I'm almost positive he would have killed somebody. And I mean somebody else, 'cause I think he did kill somebody. I'm not totally
Jesus
sure. I'm not sure.
Christ,
Not
didn't
sure.
we? This artist drew self-portraits on 50 different drugs.
Yeah.
And then there's the photos
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
and
They're
he looks
intense.
Really
Look at
creepy.
that.
Yeah.
Brian Lewis
Saunders is a Tennessee-based performance artist, poet, and illustrator who has drawn at least one self-portrait every day since March 30th, 1995. As of now, he has over 8,700 self-portraits collected in stacks of hardbound sketchbooks.
It's fucking crazy.
It says that as an experiment for 50 days straight, Saunders took a different drug every day before doing his self-portrait. All of the drugs were free, either given to him by junkie neighbors in his rundown, $18 a month apartment, and doctors who see his art and assume he's psychotic.
Yeah. Yeah. This guy has a nuts history, even after acknowledgement of his success as an artist.
shit.
Oh, there's the acid
Acid.
one.
Ugh. There's some of them where you can
Whoa.
feel like how he felt. Like there's some that are like bland outlines with like
Ritalin?
blue backgrounds. Yeah.
Dang.
Like look at all that pen work.
The heck is this?
Marijuana.
Oh.
Dang.
Yeah, that's
One glass of Pruno?
What's Pruno?
I don't know.
That's like the prison version of wine.
Is it
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, like a moonshine kind?
Yeah, but it's more wine.
like a toilet shine?
Yeah. Which one is that one?
It says 4 milligrams of
Risperdal. It's medicine that they give like bipolar for people with bipolar disorder.
Interesting.
G13. Oh, so he was trying like different forms of cannabis.
Oh, I guess.
G13. That's a different
Doesn't kind of cool.
has a different chemical,
It is nice.
and that morphine dosage
Yikes,
unknown.
Look at that.
Whoa.
I can attest to this one. No.
Yeah.
2 caps.
I had my share of
Ooh,
hospital.
The psilocybin
Oh, yeah?
mushroom one is pretty cool.
Oh,
I like
that. One's
that.
really cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Sounds pretty cool.
I can vibe with that one.
When I lived in my apartment back in like 2017, 18, I'm not sure. I was doing a lot of coke with a buddy of mine, and I was really into like making art pieces with Micron Pen, like with the small tip on canvas. So like it was just really rough. I called it my red can era, because when you think of a red can, what do you think of? You think like Campbell's, Coca-Cola, Coke. So like there's a bunch of pieces I have that are just Micron Pen on canvas. And those are all my cocaine pieces. One of them is actually at the California design firm. It's just hanging there. They're kind of gnarly looking, kind of gritty. It's like a lot of teeth and shit like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Which one's this one? Nicotine gum? Scroll down. What else does he have?
I'm like, I stopped because it did a glitch when.
Nitrous oxide. Oh yeah, it's still glitching.
What did he do to it?
Oh, damn.
Dang.
Whoa,
That's a good picture of me.
You see that?
that one's wild.
I don't think that's ever happened here.
No.
That's
Nice.
interesting.
Brian Saunders.
You guys are like,
Wow, I'm like delayed by like 4 minutes.
yeah. That's interesting.
Oh, there
Your
we go.
audio.
We're back. Oh, the audio's fine.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. So what
You're
do you
still doing
he's like you're like my neighbor during the pandemic. He turned 15 now, but it was like during the pandemic and he got in trouble. His dad worked and he stayed home. But anyways, he had to do Zoom, like school through Zoom.
Oh.
And then he would pretend that he was frozen.
Yeah.
He would pretend he was frozen.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
Yeah, but they almost kicked him out of Zoom
It's
class.
not his fault. Peter was frozen.
That's what I'm saying. That's funny. So I
Yeah.
know that you said that your family is like, you know, they really encourage your art and all that. But do they ever tell you like, hey?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. all the time.
Maybe not use that
Yeah.
that little symbol.
My grandpa always
Damien.
jokes around and says like, "Why do you Nazis? You can't do this. You can't do it." Like, he knows damn well I'm gonna keep doing it. Like they all say like, "Hey, you know, this could be taken out of context other places." It's like, yeah, I know. It's just what it is. I don't want to stop. You know, I like using it. They always tell me stuff like that, even if it's not swastika related, like sexually explicit. Like, oh, no one's gonna like this. You can't get a job with this, Damien. You know, because I work at Disney, and they think that like it's gonna affect my
Oh.
Disney job. It hasn't so far.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm a caricature artist at Downtown Disney.
Oh, you are?
Oh.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's pretty fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a really good time doing it.
Do you do because I know I've seen like on TikTok some caricature like people
Oh.
and even I'm always scared. Okay, look, I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
When I go caricature,
The big tit
drawings,
one was
yeah.
awesome.
Oh
dude.
yeah, I saw that one.
so
The Hawaiians did that one.
yeah.
That's right.
Do you do that type of style, like where you kind of like I don't want to say mock, right? But you
You exaggerate heavily.
exaggerate.
Yeah, for offense. I don't, by default, I don't do that at Disney, but if you request it, I will do it. I absolutely will do it. I think it's the funnest thing in the world to exaggerate someone's features. It's a fun job. I love doing it. I just got promoted recently.
Nice.
Congrats, dude.
Thank you. It's cool, man. Just drawing for a living, for a paycheck, that's fucking dope. I dig the hell out of that job. And I have some great artists I work with who are very funny, very talented, have their own styles. It's just fun working with them. It's like one of my favorite jobs I've ever had.
How fulfilling is that? Like you have this passion
Mhm.
to do something, and you're actually like your paycheck
Exactly.
is doing what you do. Like how fulfilling is that?
It's cool, man. It's I'm still not, I guess I'm in shock of it still. Like it hasn't hit me as in like, wow, I'm doing work
Yeah.
I've wanted to do. Like
'Cause
working
that
for
doesn't
Disney.
happen at all. Like
Mm.
in the entertainment industry and the
Yeah.
art industry and the music
Right.
scene,
Right.
like that's unheard of.
Right,
Like
from-
there's a small percentage of people that actually
Have the
real life.
opportunity to do that.
yeah.
I feel like if musicians wanted to do the thing I'm doing in equivalent, they'd have to like work at a venue.
Yes.
Be around music, right? For actors, it'd be like working in like the local theater. What I think I'm doing, it's not like better or anything. It's
For
just
comics, it's actually working at a comedy club.
store. Yeah. Or I think the comedy club. I don't know. Comedy store. Yeah. Like the improvs are like, yeah, exactly.
Right.
I think it's just, that's the closest thing I'm going to get to a maybe a possible 9-to-5 job that I get paid for to actually draw. You know, I'm actually drawing it. You know, I'm just not around it. I'm fucking doing it. I think it's so cool. It's so badass. You guys got to come down.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Now I want to go and get one done.
Yeah.
We've been talking about doing caricatures for a while,
For
right?
ourselves, Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely.
nice. So you guys want like an exaggerated one, right?
No.
Okay.
I already have a big forehead.
I want 3 tits.
Fuck yeah, we'll do that. Absolutely.
It looks like I have 3 tits already, but
Oh man, that's
right, it's something like that. But that's cool, dude. That
Thank you.
not a lot of people can say that.
No, yeah,
Right?
yeah. No, not everyone could say they're a caricature artist at Downtown Disney. No.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many is there? Is there a lot
Of workers?
Yeah.
Like 8.
You know, at first when you said you worked at Disney, I immediately thought that you're like a
Like
I
a
was gonna
janitor?
say
like an actor or something.
Oh,
I was
no.
gonna say, what character are you?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Honestly.
We totally forgot that he was a character.
That he-
An artist.
Yeah.
We're like, what store do you work at?
Oh, it's Sephora.
So I work at the Starbucks. I'm a barista.
Exactly. I work just across from it. I see them all the time.
That's cool. Oh, so I know where you're at. Then.
Yeah.
You're kind of right towards like where what now it's the Star Wars store, right?
No, so I think
Or are you on the other side?
I don't know where the Star Wars store is. I'm by the World of Disney store.
World
it's
of
just by the
Disney.
entrance of
Got
Disney.
it. Got it. So you're never
Yeah.
mind. Never mind.
Yeah.
I retract.
It's all right.
How long does it take you to do something like that?
So for each person, it takes me 8 to 10 minutes to flat. If
Jesus
not less than,
Christ.
It's not less than that. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Do they like time you like during your interview?
We're supposed to be timed.
Yeah.
That's because that's what Commons Art Shops does. It's timed caricatures for Disney. So, well, I mean, for my chapter of Commons, anyway. So it's 8 to 10 minutes per person. Maybe I think 2 minutes for black and white face, 3 to 5 minutes for black and white body, something like that. And then with color, it's just added on.
How much skill goes into that? That it seems like a lot.
Well, skill because you have to know how to draw. You have to capture features of what they have, whether it's by template or exact, features, and then coloring in the lines and accurately, and then speed. If I didn't say that already, I mean it is a lot of skill that gets involved with that. You have to know what you're doing. You got to be on top of it.
How'd you get into that?
Of what caricatures?
Yeah.
I think it's just fun.
Yeah.
Like I did political stuff when I was younger. I did like a lot of Trump things, so like exaggerated his face, make it all bigger and stuff like that. And so when I applied for the job, I already had caricatures from my past.
Right.
And
Like, did you show him your Trump one? Was that on your?
actually, I don't think I did. I think he would have loved it. My boss would have loved it. I'm sure of it. I don't know what he believes in, but I'm sure he would have loved it. And then I showed him. I remember I had during COVID. I did caricatures for Valentine's Day, and I did a lot of those. So I showed him that whole portfolio, and he's like, "You got it.
You got the job.
You're training. That's
Oh,
it."
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Damn.
Do you have to be like Disney all day? Like when I mean Disney all day, like personality wise and all that?
I mean, I guess the expectation isn't as high for me because I'm at downtown Disney. Every downtown of any city is like,
The skeevier
exactly.
version of-
I'll still say like, "Hey, how are you? How can I help you? Oh, have a wonderful day. Happy birthday. Congratulations on getting married." But yeah, I mean, it's minimal. I don't have to be like super jolly. I don't have to be like super fake or anything like that. And I don't have to also draw you in a Disney theme. It could do Shrek.
So we can choose like
So yeah, you can choose a
different themes?
character. You could choose a character, but you can't choose Mickey and Friends, and you can't do Tim Burton stuff. Those are all copyright.
really.
Yeah.
Oh.
When you and I were going back and forth about possible commission, like how, like with different art, because there's so much that artists do already. Like how, like you don't want to step on each other's toes within like when it comes to likeness or work, because how often is that talked about, like in the artist community?
About what, like mimicking or copying people's work?
Yeah.
I don't think I know of conversations that go on about that.
Mhm.
I know that I am very judgmental when it comes to art, especially like independent local stuff. I know there's an art style going around of like the Tim Burton-esque sliced neck, big heads, stupid teeth kind of look.
Mhm.
That's common. I know the paintings of like body parts with food around it is common. There's a lot of common works out there that I think are very derivative of each other without any sort of benefit to them as artists, besides the fact that people know them and recognize them. And I don't think that's talked about enough in terms of like, hey, you're kind of copying a whole trend of people who are doing shit like that. It probably is talked about to a big extent.
Mhm.
Maybe I don't hear it because maybe I'm not a part of it. Like I don't think I copy anybody's work.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just stick to your style.
How I know things, and if I use references, I usually try not to go off of artworks unless I'm mocking it intentionally.
Oh, okay, I see that.
So that way, it's like, oh, he did something like that. It's like, yeah, but I'm also making fun of it. I'm talking shit about it.
Right,
I don't
right.
like it. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
I see that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had to ask because it was
Yeah.
just it was different. I've never really gotten that
So with
before.
the designs you showed me,
Mhm.
I can make it identical.
Of course. Which
of
I
course-
know you can.
Right. But
Yeah.
if you want it to be different, I can also do that as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I think different is what we're going for.
Okay. Like
So we'll probably
updated.
have an updated version. We also throw around the idea of like a caricature too.
Okay.
Of my head or something.
Fuck yeah.
You know.
I've looked at your face for a while. I think
Yeah.
I could do it when I
Like
get
coming
home.
out of a microphone or something because it's
Oh, yeah.
we're looking to update to change the branding around the open mic at the space that we do.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
I'd
we
love to
do it once a month.
Mhm.
So we want to create like a specific brand
Yeah.
to that event, and plus possibly we want to take it to a different venue because at the coffee shop that's the home venue,
Mhm.
but we want to open it up to different places that would want something like an open mic like what we do.
You know, you could go to downtown Pomona has a lot of spaces for open mics. There's like a Pomona Loud. The Haven does stuff like that. We talked.
DBA does that too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Did I not say that? I'm sorry. I thought I did say that.
I don't know.
Maybe that was my bad. The Haven is open to that. I don't know for sure yet. I talked to somebody about that, and they said they'd get back to me about it. Because a friend of mine who's a comedian, wanted to host a comedy night at the Haven every weekday or something like that. And then I know Daniel the Goat has a friend that we know, Melvin Diaz, who has a studio in LA where they have comedy shows at. It's a small loft, I think, and you guys, I'm sure you could do it there. You could talk to him though, but that'd be a different place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know for sure we want to do more of those because we have the equipment. I mean, we have, obviously, there's some points where we have the reach
Mhm.
for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just want to do it in this area because what we're doing right now,
okay.
we're doing it in Paramount.
Mhm.
I did toss around the idea of possibly doing it at Bleachers, but
Okay.
it different clientele.
I
For
see.
sure.
I'm like,
Why not? It's right there.
Yeah.
I think it's just a clientele to to see if there would be interested in something like that.
Pizza.
Yeah, why not? Sure.
I know for sure in downtown Pomona there has to be. Like, is there open mics?
Yeah.
I'm so out of the loop when
I
it comes
think
to that area.
Every Tuesday
And
night.
it's right there down the street
Yeah,
too.
I know. Every Tuesday night, I think Pomona Loud does their open mic at DBA. And then I think there's...
What time is it? Is it happening right now? We should go.
It might be 7 or 8. I'm not sure. They definitely do it, though, for sure.
Yeah?
It's an open spot. Yeah, absolutely.
I gotta check it out. Like,
Yeah.
we have the stuff. Might as well, right?
Yeah, some people do poetry. People do songs. I've only seen one person do comedy at a music open mic, but, you can still do it.
Yeah.
We had someone do. Remember the kid, Fernie? I think his name was Fernie. The one that did live painting.
They all.
No, remember it was one of our first ones, and his mom asked if he could go and perform, and he painted like a few little,
Oh, really?
little things, and then he would paint, and then he would turn it around, and everyone was like,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was cute.
How old was he? I don't remember.
He was older. He had autism, but he liked like painting and stuff like that.
Mm,
Do you remember
okay.
him? So
no.
okay.
Insignificant to me.
Hey. Jeez.
No, it was good. I
Oh,
remember him. It
God.
was great. It was a good time. Okay, that guy. What was his name? Frankie?
Bernie.
Frankie was amazing. He was a good kid.
What an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, I think just having space for something like that.
Okay.
Especially, young kids
Sure.
and there's not a lot of that,
Mm-hmm. Right. I can't think of really any.
right?
Yeah.
Except for, and what about down like in Chino? Is there something like that?
I wouldn't know. I mean, I grew up in Chino, but I was very much in the house. Like, I didn't ever go out and party or like do anything. So, and I moved out like at 19. So I don't know anything to do in Chino besides like fucking Walnut Park. Nothing. It's just a park I know. That's it.
So what are you doing when you're not drawing?
I think I work on things every day. I have a to-do list I do every day.
Are you a musician too, or is it
I
just
play music
art?
sometimes. Yeah, a guitar, a piano. I try to understand music as much as I can. My brother is a fantastic musician. He plays nearly everything. He's in a couple of bands, The Dying Nothing and Hater Bruda. They're great. They're fantastic, and I can't wait to see them blossom in each direction. He's more musically inclined than I am. He can hear something and pick it up. I have to take time. He can make a solo. He can make a lick. I can't do any of that shit. But yeah, I do play sometimes. I try to work out. I don't have a lot of time to do that. It's been fucking hot. I'm not going to go outside and do that. Other than that, I just make sure I have things done. Commissions, own personal projects, working on music, German, anything I want to know. I just fill up the day with it.
So what's in the future for Damien? Like what's your year plan? What's your 5-year plan with your art?
Oh, with my art.
Yeah. Like what's making it to you, dude?
I don't know. I mean, I would be satisfied knowing that I could pay my bills in a home, even if it wasn't a house, with the art I'm making. That would be fine with me. If I had an apartment I could pay for just by drawing, I'd be fine with that. I would love, of course, because I'm an egotistical cunt, if I could just have some renowned legacy. And even if it's not a big one, like just the way that people throw around Keith Haring, the name, or Andy Warhol. Those are kind of actually big, to be honest. But, just people like that. Like, oh, that was an artist. He was a pretty good artist. I would love that. Be in a history book.
Being a history teacher.
Sure. You know what? I know a college would definitely do that after I was retired, but, that'd be pretty cool. To be able to pay my bills and have some sort of name value. Because that's the difference with different types of artists is name value. So, like, you can have an artist who does abstract work, somebody else who does the same abstract work, but one person you know about because of name value. Name value is cool. I want that. Sure.
Damien.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out and do the podcast, man.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it, dude. So tell us what you got coming up and where we can find you.
Sure. Where can I look? Can I look at this one right here?
Yeah.
Okay. So, on July 29th, I'm going to be at Catch One. It's on Pedro Street. It's a Pancakes and Booze gallery exhibition. I'm going to be bringing my first ever Insecure Boy piece for everyone to see. And I have a show coming up in August in downtown Pomona, and I don't have any other details about that. But, just stay tuned and follow me on Dehoyos on TikTok and on Instagram. And also, if you know me personally, follow me on Glizzy Chasers. We fucking eat glizzies everywhere we possibly can, and we rate them. So follow me on that too. Glizzy Chasers on TikTok.
Oh.
Glizzy Chasers?
Yeah.
Really? We just heard what a glizzy was like not too long ago.
Oh, what?
We're old.
Dude,
We're old.
glizzies, get on them, dude. Get on them.
Hey, have you had it from Carney's?
No, we haven't. I'll put it on the list though. We recently just went to Pink's, so
Okay.
in LA.
And Tail of Pup.
Tail of the Pup.
Tail what?
Tail of the Pup. It's in West Hollywood.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll
It's super
definitely
cool. So that specific location used to be the studio from The Doors.
Really?
So the restroom inside the restaurant
Yeah.
is where Jim Morrison did the vocals for LA Woman.
Really? That's so fitting because they have a restroom there now, and there's shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Are you insinuating
You just
that
go,
about The Doors?
Guess I don't like the Doors.
What?
They're bad.
Jesus Christ.
I love how that it ended like this.
What is it?
This is great.
But
This
what
is
is it?
great.
Is it just Jim?
I
You don't
like
like
their music. I don't
you don't
like
like Jim Morrison?
No, I don't. Not even a little bit.
Really?
Not even a little bit.
Break on through? No.
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope.
The end.
Repetitive, really pseudo deep stuff.
Ah, okay. What about Ray Manzarek? You don't think he was a good pianist? Ray Manzarek? No.
No, I guess not.
Okay. I guess not.
Jesus Christ. Thanks, man. No problem, dude.